And welcome back to this week's edition of Downtown Houston After Hours. I'm Doug DeForest.
And I'm Laura Crowley.
You are, and you're looking pretty today.
Well, thank you.
I mean, you know, I don't want your husband to kill me or anything, but you kind of look okay.
Well, thanks.
The hat, that's
Love this hat.
You know, that's maybe my favorite yet.
Thank you.
Of all these shows. How you been feeling?
Pretty good.
You know, your mom recently was in the hospital.
Yes.
And I know you spent a lot of time in St. Louis during that time.
We did.
Did you find any new place to eat while you were up there?
We did. Actually, I went to Chuck Berry's restaurant called Blueberry Hill.
Really?
I did, and it was very eclectic.
Why would Chuck Berry call his restaurant Blueberry Hill?
I don't know.
That's a Fats Domino song.
I don't know.
Chuck steal his act or something?
I guess, but it was awesome.
What'd you have?
I actually had a burger there that is made out of
An old hubcap?
No, it's a beef, but it's from Australia.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and they cook it very kind of rare, and it is the most amazing burger I have ever had.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. I loved it.
So what else happened in St. Louis? Did you go to the Arch?
No, we didn't have a whole lot of time for that, but we just kind of got lost a lot on some of the back streets there, and probably in some places we really shouldn't have gotten lost. But it's a beautiful city. The architecture there is just amazing, and I really fell in love with a lot of the detail that they do with the architecture there. It's
You're lying,
beautiful.
aren't you?
No, I love it.
Oh, you did? You were?
I know. I'm crazy, but I really do love the
I've never,
buildings there.
I like small towns.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm big into small towns, and that's why we're doing this show.
Yes.
You know, I can tell you one thing about downtown Houston that is amazing me, is every week as we do these shows, you see the color, you see the mood changing, people are getting energized and excited about their town. And I really believe that on this show, we're going to bring in some of the city officials, and we're going to talk to y'all about exactly what goes on in the city. I think we have the hospital folks on this show.
Yes, we do.
And so we're going to talk to you about what goes on and how Texas County is coming together to make itself the best little county in Missouri.
Yes.
Actually, it's the biggest county in Missouri, but not a lot of people.
Right.
I mean, not like St. Louis.
But you know what? That's what we love about being here.
That's
it's
right.
not a huge city like that. I come from a big city before I moved here, and I really love the feel of this small town.
Well, I lived in Houston, Texas for many years, but I moved there from Houston, Missouri.
Right.
And so, knowing both places, the thing that I missed the most when I lived in a large town was I missed the camaraderie and everybody knows everybody, and you get along, and you go to church together, and you shop together. It's time for some Downtown Houston After Hours shout-outs, folks. Shout out to our good friends at Landmark Bank. Landmark Bank, here for you. Locations all over South Central Missouri. Whispering Pines Cafe next to Gas Plus. Phone 967-2275, open 7 days a week. Sharpshooter's Gun and Pawn, phone 967-0515. Stop by and see us, you'll be glad you did. Shout out to Rootin' Tootin' Alpacas, 16967 Highway B, phone 967-3801. Shout out to Double R Pawn, Houston, Missouri, phone 967-2706, located on South Grand. Shout out to S&S Package Liquor on Brushy Creek Road, phone 967-2505. Shout out to our good friend Bob Amber down at Bob's Barber Shop, phone 217-9719. Mojo Monkey, the home of our music segments, phone 967-7160, 219 North Grand in Houston. Corner Express Shell wants to tell you one thing. If you try RV gas in your old clunker, you might see a magical change from that clunker into something very special, a high-performance winner. Try V-Gas at Corner Express Shell, the last locally owned and operated convenience store in Houston, Missouri. Crowley's Homeworks, turning houses into... From the first look at Crowley's Homeworks, you will notice the thousands and thousands of ideas for any home project. Crowley's Homeworks has the best selection in the country. You don't have to drive miles to make your home beautiful. Just come on out to Crowley's Homeworks. 3 convenient locations to serve you. Crowley's Homeworks, turning houses into... Crowley's Homeworks, Houston, Salem, and Mountain Grove. From the moment Glenn Romine Sr. first saw that old Model T, he knew what he wanted to do. He wanted to bring quality Ford products to the Ozarks. In 1933, Glenn Romine Sr. did just that. He opened Romine's Motor Company in Houston, Missouri. As Glenn Sr.'s boys grew, Glenn Jr., Don, and Bob all watched their father do business a very simple way. An old-fashioned handshake and a smile, and the best deal you could find. That's right, it's still done that way today at Romines Motor Company. Glenn Sr. believed in salaried salesmen, so those salesmen would fight to give their customers the best deal possible. And it's remained that way for over 80 years. That's Romines Motor Company on Highway 63 in Houston, Missouri. Phone 417-967-4134. It's where you'll get your best deal the first time around. Take it from the great Glenn Sr. himself.
Romines Motor Company, Houston, Missouri. Best idea I ever had.
Hi, this is Dawn, Memories and Dreams in downtown Houston. We have all kinds of items, repurposed, new, used, and wholesale. If we don't have it and you're looking for it, we'll try to find it for you.
Memories and Dreams, 103 South Grand, phone 967-7102. Time for some more great shout-outs, folks. Shout out to DNL Florist. Since 1990, a full-service florist that ships worldwide. Phone 967-3705. Shout out to David Atkinson, your insurance and financial professional and Farmers Insurance agent. Phone 967-2600. Shout out to the good folks at Martin's Plumbing, open 24 hours a day. Phone 217-3113. Shout out to Neil's Sporting Goods, your one-stop sporting goods store. Phone 967-4444, 213 North Grand. Shout out to Stockard Insurance Agency, phone 967-2300 and request a free insurance quote. Stockard Insurance, independent and going to stay that way. For a little taste of Mexico, it's Cozumel, 1480 South Sam Houston Boulevard, phone 967-0530. Shout out to Texas County Veterinary Clinic, 967-3857 on Highway 63 in Houston, Missouri. Shout out to the Office Bar on Grand, phone 967-5381. And the Houston Area Chamber of Commerce, where your business is our business, phone 967-2220.
Well, as promised, look who's here. Look who's here. It's Jolene Durham from the Texas County Memorial Hospital.
Yes, it is.
Isn't it neat?
Glad to be here.
Well, it's good to have you here. Now, you know, one of the things about a small community like Houston that a lot of towns don't have, but Houston has, is a vital and very energetic hospital. And it's growing.
It is. It is. We employ about 400 people.
Wow.
So, you know, we are one of
the largest employers in the town.
Exactly. Yeah. And, you know, healthcare is vital to all of our communities. And we had very visionary people in Texas County in the early 1950s, late 1940s. There were a group of people that went around on horseback, some of them staying overnight in the small communities in Texas County, and they were basically getting community support for our hospital. Mm-hmm. So here we are in 2013 looking at a hospital that we've added 59,000 square feet onto.
It's amazing looking.
Wow. Yes.
I just think it's fantastic. Now, Laura was out there earlier, and I did a little tour. I couldn't come with y'all, but I want to take a look at this right now if y'all don't mind.
Sure, you bet.
Good morning. We are at a patient's room here at TCMH, and we see that there's been a lot of changes here, Jolene, with the new expansion at the hospital. And this is a private patient's room. And what is so key about having the private patient's room here with all of the new changes that we've done at the hospital here?
Well, you know, in today's era of modern technology and modern healthcare, you know, we tried to get our hospital where it was fully wired for electronic medical records, which is something that, of course, we didn't have 50 years ago or more. So, you know, our rooms are set up for that. In addition, all of our patients these days are, you know, they have privacy concerns and needs that we're trying to meet with private patient rooms, private bathrooms. And we felt like this was something that, you know, you would typically find in a big city hospital, but we've got it right here in Texas County, and we are very pleased to be able to offer, you know, rooms that have bathrooms, private bathrooms, as well as space for family members to stay in the rooms with patients, and of course the privacy aspect. You know, they don't have another patient in the room with them, as well as you know, there's just lots of space to put your personal things, etc.
So it is kind of nice to have that extra space and have the allowance of having your family in here with you. I've done a lot of time in hospitals, especially recently. It is nice that you can kind of stretch out and you do have that private space, but not all of your hospital rooms that had to do with the expansion here became private rooms. You do have some that are doubles.
That's right.
How many of those do you have?
We have 5 rooms that have double beds in them. Now they're twice the size of our other semi-private rooms that we had before. And we try to keep our patients where they have a private room regardless, but occasionally we have to double up.
Right.
And those rooms are, of course, very large as well. And so there are, 10 beds, I believe, total that, you may be in a room with another person. But the important thing is that before, in today's healthcare environment, there are a lot of patients that have contact precautions where they're not supposed to be around someone, or they may have some type of infectious disease that you're not supposed to expose other patients to. And so it was very important that we have these private rooms so that we can try to prevent those types of things.
And on a comfort level, that is much more convenient as a family member visiting somebody, or if you're a parent with a child, it is very nice to have that room that's just to yourself too. Now, you went from a hospital that had how many beds to how many more now that you do have?
Well, our bed size, we're licensed for 66 beds, and that hasn't changed. We didn't change the number of beds that we had. We just basically expanded the size of all of our rooms. We took out a patient wing that we had that was the original patient wing of the hospital, so it's gone. It was very old and outdated, and very, very small rooms. And so basically this new floor that we're on, this is where we try to keep most of our patients. If you have a surgery, this is where you're going to come to recover. If you need to be hospitalized for a few days, this is where you're going to be. The only reason really why you wouldn't be on this particular wing of the hospital would be if you were in ICU, which is a separate area, or if you were having a baby, and that, of course, you would be in our OB department at that time.
Now, are those areas planned for expansion or changes as well?
Well, we don't have anything as far as blueprints drawn up, as what we would like to do, but the ultimate goal is that we will have all new private patient areas over the next few years. That's what we're working toward.
Well, everything in here is just so new and modern, and it is very nice and clean and very beautiful. Did you guys have designers that came and helped, or was that part of the architect plans, or?
Yes, and yes. Of course, we had an architectural firm that did the initial draw up of everything, and of course, they have people that specialize in healthcare environments. So we have these large, almost floor to ceiling windows, and of course, natural light promotes healing. So there were things like that. You and I probably wouldn't have thought of, but people that build healthcare facilities, they knew what we needed. And then the really cool thing is that our staff was able to come in and say, this is what will work for us, or this won't work for us. And so in all of the new areas, everything from like our ambulance bay to our ER to the med-surg floor, radiology, those people that work in those departments, they were the ones that worked with the architects and helped make decisions about what should go where.
So a lot of your staff really did get a say in how things would really flow for them, and how they really had use for these areas.
Exactly. And, that's something that an architect isn't necessarily going to know.
Right.
That's something that, you or I, that, we don't work on a med-surg floor or in an ER, we wouldn't know. But, we have a lot of staff that have been here, 10, 15, 20 years. They've worked in these departments, and they know, it would be really nice if we had some cutouts in the hallway where we can store equipment. Right. It would be nice if we had a decontamination room right off of the ambulance bay. So things like that even you or I, if we come in and use the space, we may not realize what it's for, but the staff knows that it's there, and they're utilizing it, and it makes it much more efficient and convenient for them.
Well, let's go see some more.
All right, let's do that.
Thanks. Okay, Jolene, I want you to tell me about this machine. I know a little bit about it because, we're women and we have to take care of ourselves. So I want you to tell me a little bit about this very important machine.
Okay. Well, of course, when we built onto the hospital, one of the areas that we created was a radiology suite. So we're standing in the mammography room in our radiology department. And this radiology department, has at least doubled in size, if not tripled in size, of what we had prior to building this area. And so now all of our modalities are all within a particular area. So we're in mammography. Next door is bone densitometry. We've got X-ray across the hall. We've got CT. We've got stress testing and nuclear medicine. And it's all right here.
It's a lot of big words.
A lot of big words, a lot of money. I mean, there was a lot of capital investment that went into this. And this particular machine was about $250,000.
Wow.
But this machine saves lives.
Absolutely.
And this is a brand new digital mammography unit. So digital mammography is the latest and greatest in mammography services that are available to women.
Right.
So we're able to offer that right here in Texas County.
That's great.
And, this technology takes much more clear images of a woman's breast that, in fact, I'm not trained to do this at all, but I've looked at digital images versus the old film images that we used to do. And I can tell a difference in the quality of the image. So, this is something that our Board of Trustees felt very strongly that, we wanted to be able to put this in our new radiology department. And, you don't have to travel 60 miles or more to go get this done. It's right here at the local hospital.
That's fantastic. Breast cancer is a huge factor in our family, so it's great to know that we can do things local here to be healthy ourselves.
That's right. And just, a little reminder, all women age 40 and above should be getting an annual mammogram.
Right.
So for all of you out there, come get your annual mammogram.
Here in Texas County. That's amazing. So,
that's right.
Thanks. Let's go see some more. And here we are in what seems to be my family's favorite place, the ER. We are in one of these spectacular rooms that was part of the remodel. And tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. Well, like you said, this is one of those areas that you don't want to be, but if you need to be, you're sure glad that it's right down the road.
Absolutely.
So one of the things that we built on in our expansion was a brand new emergency department. So we have 13 beds here, and that doubled the size of the ER that we had. So, we have a lot more space. The rooms are private. This room that we're standing in actually has a glass door that closes. We have other rooms that, depending upon the severity of the patient and the issues that they're going through, it may just be like a standard room that has just a wooden door that closes, where a patient may be for a few hours while they're getting like intravenous fluid or something like that. But we also put in a 2-bay trauma room. Prior to that, our trauma room was just a 1-bay, and it actually held 2 beds. It could hold 2 beds, but it was very tight. Now the trauma room that we have, it does hold 2 beds, or it can hold 4 beds, depending upon what's needed. So, this is the front door to today's hospital. This is where a lot of people come to get their basic health care, or they may have an emergency that, they're getting taken care of. And so this is right out on Highway 63, and we have, physicians that staff our ER 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, as well as, staff that's been trained to work in the ER as well.
You also have a helicopter landing pad for Aerovac.
That's right. Yes, we've got the helipad is located right outside of the emergency department, so they can wheel a patient right out the doors of the ER into the waiting helicopter. And we ship people via air ambulance to Springfield, St. Louis, Columbia, wherever it's needed.
Right. So there's. I think they have found you.
They found me. No, they haven't. We won't tell them.
All right, we won't tell them where we're at. So this has been a huge remodel and a great asset to Texas County. And like I said, I feel like we're frequent flyers of this area, really. Just feel like picking a room and name it the Crowley Ward. But the colors and everything have really come together. It is very nice. But it's just a huge asset to Texas County, what has been done here. Anything in particular that you'd like to point out that we haven't already covered?
Well, one of the things that I tell people all the time, and that you and I know, and what this program is all about, is about supporting local. Right. And, we are very fortunate to have healthcare services that include a hospital right here in our county.
Certainly.
And so, people need to support their local physicians, the local mid-level providers, the local hospital.
Right.
If you need blood work done, if you need an MRI, if you have an emergency, choose your local hospital. The same primary care services that are available in the big city are available right here. And so we need to support that and take advantage of it whenever the need arises.
Absolutely. Well, we thank you so much for your time today, Jolene, and we would encourage everyone here that has not been to Texas County Memorial Hospital, seen the changes that have happened here, and if you're not aware and you would like to be, come in. I'm sure that Jolene and a lot of her staff would love to give you a tour of a lot of the changes that have happened. So thank you so much for your time, and thank you everybody for watching the show.
Thank you.
That was amazing, man. That place is just beautiful. It's growing all the time. One thing I know that you don't know, I know who the first baby was that was born in Houston Hospital. Do you know?
Do you really? I have seen that information, but I don't recall it off the top of my
late
head.
Dale Percival was the first baby to be born in the hospital. I don't know why I remember that fact.
Yeah, it was in December, and it was
59, I believe it was, 60.
No, I'm thinking it was 58. 1958. It was right. The hospital opened with Harry Truman doing the dedication right around Thanksgiving.
That's right.
And then the first baby was born a couple weeks later.
Yeah, because my sister just missed it by a few months. She was in July, and they were building it.
Okay.
And that's how I know Dale was. And I was born in that hospital.
Okay.
And you were not.
I was not.
And see, don't you feel left out?
I
Because
do.
Were you born in that hospital?
I was not.
Where were you born?
I was born in Oklahoma.
Oh, you were? Nowhere near here.
Nowhere near.
This segment is going south in a hurry, folks. Okay.
The one.
But anyway, at least I was born there so I can brag a little
That's
bit.
right. You have bragging rights.
That's right. And a lot of people have been born there. And, that's something that we're really proud of is the fact that we still have obstetrics at our hospital because a lot of small community hospitals have closed down their obstetrics because they can't find the doctors that are willing to continue to do that, or, it's just their population isn't continuing to grow.
Right.
And so we're very fortunate that we have great doctors that do obstetrics and many other things, as well as, we're growing.
What are some of the things that happened out there in the construction? What was when you decided to grow? What was your main focus in the construction?
Well, we initially were looking at, we knew we needed to improve patient care areas at the hospital. One area that we definitely needed to improve was our emergency department. Mm-hmm. We had a 7-bed emergency department, and as healthcare facilities today find, the emergency department is your front door of your hospital. Well, not only was our ER on the back of the hospital, but we were trying to keep good wait times and meet the needs of our community. And so we began looking at building onto our ER. And then we're like, well, that's just going to address a small portion of the problem. And ultimately, we have put in a new 13-bed ER, a new radiology suite with brand new state-of-the-art equipment, a new registration area, and also a new medical surgical floor, which is the second floor of the expansion.
That was very well needed.
Yes, and that was another area that, although we had a lot of patients that were like, you don't need to do this. We're happy you guys take good care of us. We have all private patient rooms with their own bathrooms.
It stops people from doing surgery at home too, which
is never a good plan.
It's never a good plan,
Not
folks.
a good idea.
Don't try that at home. Go to Texas County Memorial Hospital if you decide to have surgery. I'm telling you, I tried it. It don't work.
No.
I still had to go to the hospital. Well, now, if folks want to get a hold of you guys out there, I'm sure you have a Facebook presence. I'm sure you have a web presence. Mm-hmm. Why don't you tell us a few things about how people can get a hold of you?
Well, we have a toll-free number, so that's 866-967-3311. And from there, they can direct you wherever. I get a lot of calls because I do public relations for the hospital for people just looking for a doctor. Mm-hmm. They may have moved to the area and they need a doctor, or, trying to find out what types of services we have. And, of course, they can always go to tcmh.org, and that's our website. And from there, you can link up to our Facebook page, to our foundation's page.
You want to see something cool?
You bet.
Laura has a magic hand. Watch this.
This
Watch
is
this.
so cool.
tcmh.org. You just told her, and she did
Nice.
it. Now, watch this. It even gets better. She can make it go away. Watch this.
Wow.
I know. It's
Yeah,
very
isn't that
impressive.
That's impressive. Well, we want to thank you for coming out and sharing time with us about the hospital today. Is there anything that we've missed that you want to tell us?
No, I just want to remind people that, your local hospital is just like the local businesses in Houston and Texas County, you need to support it.
And you know, the show, Downtown Houston After Hours, is all about local business.
Yeah.
And the hospital being one of the focuses and one of the main parts of a small town.
Absolutely.
And a community that thrives is built around its churches, its clubs, and its hospitals. And we want to thank you guys for taking the time and the money to bring the hospital up to a place that it's going to be here for many, many years to come.
Exactly.
Time for some more Downtown Houston After Hours shout-outs, starting with Shelter Insurance. David Keeney, phone 967-4112. Shout out to Dr. Joey Richardson III, phone 967-4528 for your dental needs. A big shout out to our friends over at Paws and Claws. Get those pets trimmed now. Phone 967-6951. And a big DHA shout out to Houston Herald. Contact them at 417-967-2000 or find them on the web at HoustonHerald.com. No need to wait till newspaper delivery day to get your news. Join Houston Herald at HoustonHerald.com, the award-winning site that gives you all the news about Houston, and is updated daily. And you can access this award-winning site through your computer or any mobile handheld device. Local news, sports, and weather. All the things you need to know about your town, right at your fingertips. No matter how far away, HoustonHerald.com is with you, bringing you the news when you need it 24 hours a day. That's Houston Herald's HoustonHerald.com.
Hi, Brady. How are you?
Corner Express Shell is Houston's only locally owned and operated convenience store where we treat you like family.
At Corner Express Shell, we treat you right, one smile at a time. Corner Express Shell, Houston, Missouri. Simply put, Simply Sweets is amazing. Simply Sweets on Grand Street in Houston, Missouri has everything you want to fill that sweet tooth desire. And great meals, too. And it's the only place in town with Starbucks coffee. So head on out to Simply Sweets. Your tummy will thank you. Shout out to High Element Studio for all your recording needs. Phone 417-598-2490. Shout out to Jay and the gang at Quality Painting Construction. 417-260-1991. Free estimates and great work. Shout out to Diamond D Insurance. Phone at 417-268-8690. Shout out to our friends at Texas County Memorial Hospital. Phone 967-3311. Shout out to our friends at Evans Funeral Home, serving your family with dignity and compassion. Phone 967-3355. Shout out to Jay's Automotive and Towing. Phone 967-3252. Shout out to Missouri Loan Center. Phone 967-2274. A big shout out to our friends at Pizza Express. Phone 967-4473. Donnie Wells, American Family Insurance. A big shout out to you. Phone 967-2400 for your insurance needs. And that's just some of our Downtown Houston After Hours shout outs.
And here we are at the Animal Shelter of Texas County with our Pet of the Week. Marcia, who are you holding?
I am holding Penelope. Penelope is about a 4-month-old terrier mix. She is spayed, up to date on her shots, and ready for adoption. And you can call our shelter at 417-967-0700 to adopt Penelope.
Reaching back in my memory, think of no